Hello, Tiffany here from the Travelling Pint, and welcome back to another segment of the ongoing history of beer. I'm excited once again, as always, for another guest today, and I'd like to welcome Craig to my basement. And you're from Craft Brand Co.
Craft Brand Company out of Toronto, yeah.
Repping Craft Brand Co.
Yep.
Yeah, so what I like about this is we've got something a little bit different going on with your company, and you are a sales rep for them. But why don't you share a little bit with everyone out there on what exactly Craft Brand Co. is? Because I think this is, I think you guys are doing great things, so
okay,
I'll
cool.
let you take over.
Yeah, so Craft Brand Co. was founded in 2013. Mike Laba and Chris Goddard got together. They've been friends for a long time, and they decided they wanted to start bringing in some European beers.
Okay.
So it started off originally as an import agency.
Oh, I actually didn't realize it was it goes back this far.
Yeah, it goes back
there we
quite
go.
far.
I'm learning
So
as well.
the one beer we have on the table, the Nebuchadnezzar can, that was actually the very first beer they ever imported into Canada. So we're like super excited now to have it again.
Cool.
When Brunswick Beer Works opened in Toronto, Mike and Chris partnered with Brunswick Beer Works so now we brew everything locally.
Right.
So we have these international brewers like Omnipollo, like Mikkeller Brewing out of Denmark, Phillips Brewing from British Columbia, and all the beers are brewed local at Brunswick Beer Works. So you're getting these awesome beers that are super fresh.
I love this concept. So I think what's interesting, and not everyone knows out there as well, but often if we are to get one of these Omnipollo beers that was imported, it is more of a length of time to get here, right? So even some of the European beers that we're buying in the LCBO, we're not always getting the freshest of the beer. It's not always the end of the world, but as you kind of get a little bit nerdier and get these more hot profile beers,
For
you
sure.
want a fresher beer coming that way. Or saying that from BC, we don't get a lot of beer from there as well because of just sort of interprovincial laws and I mean, I'm sure some beer mail can happen, but
Yeah, beer mail does happen, but technically it's probably not supposed to.
Yeah, so you guys have now created this portfolio of 3 great breweries from Europe as well as BC.
Yeah,
bringing them in.
Yeah, we also do work with Kona Brewing out of Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
So we work with them. We have one of their beers in market right now. And then we have a couple other breweries that are just sort of friends of the guys, friends of the team, and whenever they're in Ontario, we get them by Brunswick Beer Works, and we'll run some really fun beers off with them. So we do work with Lervig Brewing out of Norway.
Yes.
You were at our Lervig party for
I
Toronto
was.
Beer Week, which was an amazing night.
It was okay.
It was okay, yeah.
It was wonderful. And yeah, you guys opened the vault and gave out some more great beer there too. So
so we love doing
opportunity.
events like that and having some real engagement with real beer lovers.
Yeah.
That's what's like the real important thing for us, is getting in with the real beer lovers.
Cool. So how long have you been, like when did you do the first batch that you're now creating or brewing here? Like how long has that been happening since your first?
2016 would have been the first batches brewed at Brunswick Beer Works.
Okay.
And we started off fairly slowly. It was the Omnipollo Zodiac, which has been our sort of main beer for quite some time. And things have been ramping up more frequently now at Brunswick. In 2018, we were really lucky to get our new brewmaster, and it's a pretty. So his name is Ludwig, and he was Ludwig Svinkels, and he was originally the brewmaster or head brewer at La Trappe.
Oh, okay.
So, for the beer nerds, they know who La Trappe is.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest Belgian breweries in the world.
Yes.
And Ludwig's like a 7th generation brewmaster.
Wow.
So we've got him in Toronto, basically running everything at Brunswick Beer Works and making sure that all the beers that are coming out of there are just killer beers.
Yeah, so he'd have some experience, I guess, with the styles and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
just a little bit of experience.
Just a little bit, yeah.
That's cool. And then these recipes are pretty much mimicked exactly, or give or take a little bit from what they are creating.
No, the
back
recipes are pretty exact. What usually happens is we'll get one of the brewers to come over from either Omnipollo or from Mikkeller, from whatever brewery we're working with, and they'll come in and run a batch with us. And there's we do the quality control and see how it's tasting. Mm-hmm. And once we have it all dialed in, then we just work with the recipe here. So but they are, if you're getting a beer here and a beer from, say, the Omnipollo bar, it should taste exactly the same.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I was at Mikkeller in San Francisco, so sort of different. I know they have a few places that they brew throughout the U.S. as well, but it was quite the place, the tap room. I think this artwork and the one that we're probably going to try, I just really like how creative and kind of Scandinavian it looks, I suppose.
So that one
really
originally was a McKellar San Diego creation.
Oh, okay.
We tried some at our office and just absolutely fell in love with it. So we're like, can we brew a batch up here? Because we think it would be an awesome beer to have. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And I guess there aren't many rules to that either, because you're just making beer, but it's just now in Ontario.
Yeah. It's really it. And the nice thing is, it is great beer coming into Ontario, but it's still providing, jobs and, everything's getting done here. So
yeah,
it's nice. It's nice for that as well.
Right. And then same with the branding, it would be the same as what they would be selling it at home, like if it's the same beer.
Yeah. It's all the same branding.
Okay, cool. That's cool. So we've got about 2 minutes left before we go to break and crack one of these delicious beers. We can do a little raffle, which one we're going to open first.
Okay.
But and you are doing sales, right? Is that your main?
Yeah.
gig?
So I technically market manager is the title they gave me. I'm a sales rep. I like the fancy title, but I'm a sales rep. And I handle Western Ontario. So I do all the LCBOs, beer stores, on-premise accounts for Western Ontario. So it keeps me in the car a lot.
Yeah.
So thank God for podcasts and satellite radio. But that's basically what I do. I'm out all day working, in the field and dealing with beer people. So it's hard to call it a job. Like, I mean, it's a good thing to be doing.
Well, we kind of met through sales originally when you were somewhere else as well. But I think you do have a great personality, as you should. Being a sales rep, you like to chat and you know a lot about beer, and you always seem to be happy and ready to talk about it as well. So
yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. I know. I tried my hand at sales a little bit, but it just wasn't something for me. I feel like I know a lot about beer and have a passion behind it, but you do need a little bit more mixed in there to be able to sell.
Some days can be pretty tough.
Yeah.
Some days you come home feeling pretty defeated, and then you crack a good beer and you wash it away and get ready for the next day. So
yeah, I'd like to see your beer fridge maybe one day. I know you've done some surprise visits, but
it's a pretty good beer fridge. I get a lot of friends dropping by, just, hey, how's it going?
Oh, that's awesome.
You want to have a beer? So yeah, it's a pretty well stocked fridge.
I love it. All right, we're gonna head to break, and when we come back, we're gonna dip into That's a Paddlin' by McKellar, and you can tell me if I'm pronouncing any of that wrong.
All right.
We'll be back.
My husband is a wonderful man and a great father when he's not drinking. I'm so angry he chooses alcohol over us. If he really loved us, he'd stop drinking, right? My counselor suggested I try Al-Anon. I didn't understand why. I'm not the one with the problem, but I'm glad I went. Do you worry about someone's drinking? You are not alone. Al-Anon or Alateen can help. Call 866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
This will change the world.
What? There's a family in our driveway.
Wake up!
So you feeling what I'm feeling?
Yes! Now is the time to choose a side.
I think it's all right to express your emotions.
Safety tips with John Percy.
Do you use candles in your home? If you do, when you leave the room, blow out. Instead of using real candles, we recommend that you use flameless candles so there's no fire hazard. Here in the region of Waterloo in the province of Ontario, one of the leading causes of fires in the home is smoking. Please smoke outside. It could save your life. In the province of Ontario, it's mandatory to have working smoke alarms on every single level of your home and outside all sleeping areas. Regardless if they're battery operated or electrical style, please make sure you test them once a month, change the batteries once a year, check the expiry date. They typically expire after 10 years. For more information, please give us a call at 519-884-2121. Check us out at waterloo.ca/fire or follow us on Twitter at Waterloo_fire.
Safety tips with John Percy.
back to the ongoing history of beer. Once again, I'm your hostess, Tiffany Hayes, and this is Craig with me today from the Craft Brand Co. Thank you again for joining.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It's nice to see you.
It is. It's always good getting together to talk.
And having a beer together.
And having a beer, for sure.
I think this is my favorite part of the show.
Oh, why wouldn't? Yeah.
So we have poured, why don't you tell me, what is in our glass today?
So
look at this beautiful pour that you've done for us here.
Thank you. So yeah, we've poured cheers. This is our brand new beer from Mikkeller. It's called That's a Paddlin', and it is a double IPA. So it comes in at 8%.
Ooh.
And for the real beer geeks out there wanting to know what's in it, it has got an amazing hop bill in it. It's probably one of my favorite ones I've had in a while. It's got the Macau, Warrior, Mosaic, and the Falconer's Flight 7C. So there is a lot going on in this beer.
I love it. This is even beyond my hop knowledge a little bit. Like there's like 2 of those that I haven't heard of. So this is, it's exciting, and it just goes to show that there are quite a few hops out there
for sure.
in the world as well. Now, Mikkeller. I've been saying Mikkeller this whole time.
Mikkeller.
So am I butchering it? Mikkeller is how I say it?
It's Mikkeller, yeah.
Okay.
The owner is, his name is Mikkel. His first name is Mikkel.
Okay.
And it's Mikkeller Brewing.
I think once you start to say something wrong and then that's how you repeat it.
It sticks.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I'll say it both ways, but now I'll remember. Mikkeller. Like pickle, but not. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's have a taste. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. That's a pretty...
Your foamy beard.
The foamy beer.
As the season comes and the beers get longer.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's very creamy.
Yeah.
And soft. It doesn't have any burn at all from the hops, which is maybe the choice that's gone in there.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Nice and juicy. Well,
not much bitterness. It's very soft.
Yeah. Well, with the Falconer's Flight, the 7C, you're getting the Citra, the Centennial. All the C hops are kind of blended into this hybrid.
Okay.
So you're getting all those really nice flavors in there, the little bit of fruitiness, that little bit of pininess there, and then that creamy body really hides that 8%.
I can't believe, that's 8%. That is a beautifully done beer. It's like orange juicy, very orange.
Yeah.
Orange is a citrus fruit, I suppose, but.
Yeah, so this one will actually be hitting the LCBOs in the beginning of December.
Okay.
And then there's a few bars and restaurants that have picked it up on draft as well. So you'll find it at most of the Beer Town locations.
Oh, cool.
And then a few other places throughout KW and Toronto.
Right. So yes, I guess we should tell everyone where your beer is readily available. So the LCBO, generally all your labels will go through, or SKUs will go through there?
Yeah, all our labels generally go through the LCBO. Phillips and Kona we also have at the beer store.
Okay.
And we've slowly been rolling out into grocery. So there are some grocery store chains, the Loblaws chains, and Fortinos have started picking us up as well. So there are some grocery stores you can find us in.
Okay, cool. I forget about the beer store too. It's such a thing we grew up on, and you go and order your case of beer. And I just think as time has changed and we drink different things now, I don't go back there as much anymore except to return
our empties.
Yeah. But the other day I was in one and I'm like, they had a decent variety, but I think it's very hit or miss for which ones carry more variety of the craft beer as well too. But that's good to know. I'll have to look for Phillips when it's in there too and see where I can find it.
Cool.
Or you probably have the ins and outs. You know which ones are available.
I'll let you know.
keep me on the list of the new releases and where they're going to. That's a beautiful beer. So speaking of where your beer is available, you guys are joining iHeart Beer.
We are.
This November, December as well.
Yes, super excited. Yeah. Had a great time in the past. Well, different company, but I worked with you in the past when we did the iHeart Beer and Taco in Kitchener, which was an amazing event.
Fun.
So super excited.
That's where we first met then, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing London.
Yes.
And we're doing Toronto in December.
So London's November 22nd.
Yes.
And Toronto's December 16th, 14th, whatever the Saturday is. And you will be representing Craft Brand Co. and pouring 3 or 4 beers?
We're gonna have 3 or 4 beers there. I think we're probably gonna come down with Mikkeller and with Omnipollo.
Excellent.
We'll do a double IPA and something else, bring some surprises down, have some fun with it.
Yeah, I like that. And is this the first time you've done a festival with Craft Branco too, or do you guys do
we did
a fair amount in the summer?
We did Toronto Festival of Beer.
Okay.
We just went with Kona for that, being the summertime, and it's just a beautiful summer beachy sort of feel.
Right.
So we did that this summer. We have a couple other little ones that we do throughout the year. I think it's something we're going to get into a bit more.
Cool.
Now that we're getting our team built out and having people
because it
being
does
available.
Take manpower, woman power to run the events as well.
For sure.
When you're running around all week and they're exhausting to work at a beer festival, but also a lot of fun. And I think it's a great way to make connections, as that's how we met, and then kind of get you into doing more with us too, which is always fun.
You know, you get a nice afternoon of drinking great beer and having some really great food too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, what would be? Do you think this is something? Maybe up and coming for more people to be doing and kind of mimicking what Craft Branco is? Because I know you can look at some larger labels and more macro stuff that has done something similar, right? But we've got a couple of minutes left. Do you think it's a trend, or has anyone else kind of tried to do this?
There are some other agencies. There are some other agencies in Ontario.
Okay.
But I think we're probably one of the bigger ones.
Right.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, sort of, with the sales and everything, but I would like to think that we're one of the bigger ones in Ontario.
Yeah. And I guess there's always imports, but the fact that you're making it here too.
We're making it here, which is
apart.
that really sets us apart, because all the other agencies are generally importing stuff in. So you'll have agencies that represent brewers like Sierra Nevada or different U.S. brewers, and those are still imported. Even like Brooklyn Brewing is still it's imported in. So you do have that with us. You get that really nice fresh beer.
Yeah.
Not that the other ones aren't really fresh, but
but the travel time
is a lot less.
Europe is a lot longer than New York, where Brooklyn would be as well, right? So
I think I definitely think it's a great way to bring beers in, and it's really unique because we have so many different brewers to be able to represent and have a little bit of a beer for everyone almost.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, a beer for everyone.
Cheers.
So it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit more about Craft Branco. People buy it in the LCBO. It's available there for everyone to try.
Yep.
If you have any questions, make sure you're following you guys on Facebook and Instagram. We'll get that up on the screen as well.
Beautiful.
And hopefully we'll see people at iHeart Beer.
We'll see you at iHeart Beer,
And have a little bit more to drink there too and sample. I look forward to doing your product, your quality control.
Fantastic.
Thanks again, and up next is Dre Powell with a bunch of music.